Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, June 11th, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I focus on self-care, soul care, above all. And today we have some stuff going on. It is the last full day of Mercury in Gemini. We also have Venus preparing to finish up in Cancer. We also have the moon finishing up in Taurus. So we're at those final degree energies. Those final degree energies will always push us like just a little bit, like have you learned the lesson? So the number one lesson, being that it is a 20-degree day, nurturing self-care, is have you learned the lesson of self-care? Have you started to tune into the fact that self-care is ultimately soul care? Because when we're taking care of ourselves, we're better able to tune in to the messages of our soul and then show up in the methodologies, in the ways our soul wants us to show up. So that is definitely a very important part of the energy. But being vigilant of the fact that the moon is preparing to shift into Gemini. It is in the dark of the moon. We have Mercury at those final degrees of Gemini, 27, 28, 29 through like about noon Pacific tomorrow. So high monkey wrangling energy, overthinking monkey wrangling kind of energy. And the thing that I'm getting, which we'll dig into for sure, is that, ideas aplenty come, and some are from the place of light and from our heart, and some are connected to shadow energies, and there are times when it can be difficult to tell the difference, and that's what I really want to focus on in and of this energy today. We have both the moon and the sun connecting to Pluto today. So Pluto is at 20 degrees as well, so that 20-degree energy, self-care, soul care, focus on that above all instead of being like a vigilante, because that's kind of the energy that's coming up. So let me show you my card. This card took me down a rabbit hole. It's the card Virtue, and when I was looking it up, it's like to have high Christian moral values, and there are other things too. But a lot of times we get stuck in that morality. Let's see, did I pull that card? I did not pull that card. We get caught in those things, and it's not always entirely true to our soul. In this card, it's like, this is the card of the light worker. And I was thinking about that, and there are some people who are really conscious of their being light workers, but I believe all of us on this planet are ultimately light workers. We all work with the light. We all come from the light. We all have a light to shine. At the same time, we're all shadow workers. We all have shadows. And again, some of us are working with this consciously and some are not working with it consciously. And a lot of times, those shadows can creep up on us and surprise us when we think that we're doing something of the light and there's actually some of that unconscious shadow behind it. So today is a day to be aware of that and keep feeding into that self-care, soul care above all, because the energy is a little tricky. We have that sun in Gemini, in conjunct Pluto. So when something's in conjunct, they're not really seeing eye to eye. It's not an opposition, which is like, hey, I'll go your way or pull against you. There is definite challenges to overcome when we have this in conjunct energy. So sun in Gemini plus having Mercury finishing up in Gemini, those strong Gemini degrees, plus the moon moving in, dark of the moon, we've got a lot of going on, a lot of ideas spinning out. Watch where your ideas are coming from, because as Pluto connects in, they may ultimately be these very empowered ideas, or they could be manipulations. They could be ideas that feel like they could be empowering, but they're really from the shadows. So today is really a good day to be vigilant of the shadows and the light within you. And above all, keep feeding into that self-care, because self-care does directly feed into your soul care energy. So the moon is also tuning into Pluto. I think this is helpful in regards to the self-care, soul care. Moon is in Taurus. So that moon feeding in is like, yes, let's take care of ourselves. Let's know our worth. Let's even indulge a little bit in that self-care energy. So hopefully that'll feed into it. The other connection that's being made is the moon connecting to Neptune, which could lend to the fog, which could be part of the confusion between the shadows and the light in and through this energy. Don't overthink it. wrangle those monkeys. Don't overthink it, but keep going into self-care, keep going into self-nurturing, keep asking yourself, is this from a space of love? Is this from a space of love in me, love of myself, and does this beam this love outwards? That will really definitely support and help. The other connection that's being made is, this also helps with the self-care. Yes, come on. Come on with the self-care. Moon in Taurus will be meeting up with Venus. So Venus is preparing to shift into Leo. Venus is finishing up in Cancer. So this Moon-Venus connection also feeds into that idea of self-care. And what I love, one last little connection in the day, Vesta. Vesta is shifting into Capricorn. So Vesta is the priestess energy within us. Capricorn is where our personal responsibility is. Our responsibility to our higher self, our responsibility to our divine self, our responsibility and throwing into the structure that light energy, the knowing of it, the consciousness of it. And, if you're tuning into this scope, chances are you are somewhat conscious of your light. Be also conscious of the other side of things. Don't ignore it. When we ignore it, that's when problems arise. But when we dig into it and really maintain vigilance, caring, love of it, things can shift. And that's my other card, the transformation card. How many times have I pulled this card? Oh my God. Like a few times a week since we've gone into Gemini. So transformation, use the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. That sums this all up. Get through the illusions, shift into love, bring yourself into that love consciousness. That is very important in and through this energy. The final thing I do want to mention is that Moon is shifting into Gemini, 11:53 p.m. Pacific time. So late. But as that Moon shifts, taking us deeper into the dark Moon, it is going to amplify the monkeys. So that's why today is like, get your monkey wrangling suit on, costume on, and practice the self-care, because when we're stressed out, we're more likely to spiral into the negative thoughts versus when our care is, high up there, we're able to be like, my needs are taken care of, I'm not stressed out, and I'm coming from more of a centered, grounded place versus the spinning that can happen when stress happens. We've got the Master card. It is up to you to be a master, to connect into that light energy. Besides that, God, I got some interesting cards with this. I really didn't look at these beforehand. How interesting. Take it easy. Show up for today. Master the day. Know that there is still more to come. The laziness card is like, you think you've got it made. You don't have it all figured out. And this I liken to the self-care. Take care of yourself today, because it's going to help with the monkeys that do come later this week. And those monkeys are not going to be going slow. They're going to be fast and furious monkeys. Again, grounded, centered self-care will help. Completion card. We are finishing things up at this time. I just had a weird thought in my head, but finishing things. That might be part of this process. I've got that. I've got my lists. I can't show you my list, but I have lists of like all of these readings to do. So completion, good day as part of your self-care to wrap up, tie up some of those energies so they're not weighing on you, stressing you out, and pulling you into that energy. So that is it for today. Go book a reading. Eclipse readings, I am booking them right now, so digging into them. I have my first one that I'm doing tomorrow. I'm really excited to dig into these eclipses. Intensity, 3 eclipses. It is $33. You can find that on the link below. I have other readings available. You can email me if you would have any questions about that. Join my Patreon page. I'm doing a lot of twin stuff over there. I'm doing individual tiny, like 2-minute, 3-minute readings for everybody who signs up at this time while I can. And I thank everybody who's joined me. I feel like it's going to be a space where I can really unleash myself a little bit more and really share a lot more of what I have to say and all that, all of the extra. So check that out, Patreon. That link is below as well. And that is it for today. Thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. The better it gets, the better it gets. And there is enough love in the world for you. Namaste.